Welcome, foolish mortals.
Now then, hang on to them hats and glasses, because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
This is the DBC Pod with Phil Schoen and Jason Dodge. Hi, friends. Welcome to this week's Pod, the show for the week of June 30th, 2025. Happy 4th of July to all the Americans listening to this show. I am taking time off. I'm going to Disney World for a day, and it goes right into the 4th of July weekend. So it's a nice 5-day weekend for me.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to it. We've got some trip planning updates for both you and myself, which is great. We'll talk about that later in the show. There's a lot, I was out and about this week and traveling, and then all of a sudden Phil goes, wow, there's a lot of construction updates for this week. And I'm like, I knew I've been looking at my phone for like the first half of the day, but the second half of the day I was kind of busy. And lots of openings and closures. I don't know how to talk today. So we're going to talk about a lot about that. You're booking stuff. I'm booking stuff. We're going to attempt to play filler or skipper. Right? Somebody made it. Who was it? It was a TL Madden that made an awesome joke in it. He was called the first skipper was Jungle Cruise, and I thought that was a pun. It was fantastic. I don't know if it was on purpose, but kudos to. Was it TL Madden? We got to look that up. I don't want to give it to the wrong person. Anyway, that was an awesome pun. Yeah. Sounds about right. We want to welcome Atmosphere that joined Discord this week, and I want to give a special shout out to Walt Disney 33, who joined in the DBC engagement question for the first time this week. So welcome. Thank you for joining the conversation. Everybody should do it. I think we even got a drive-by comment from Matt too, which was pretty awesome. So he's busy doing his daily Dis Happenings podcast. So we welcome that. Anyway, let's just get into it, right? There's no more preamble. We're going to get started. Phil, what's opening and closing this week?
Yep. So the first one is, I guess, the most recent thing that just happened, and it happened without much fanfare, that the Hall of Presidents reopened just in time for the 4th of July, officially on Sunday, June 29th, I should say. Mm-hmm. And it was all of a sudden, it was announced that it will come back and Trump will be back having a speaking role. And then the next thing you know, it was like all of a sudden it had hours for that day. It was like, okay, I guess it's opening today. So
well done.
Basically just switched the Trump and Biden spots, and Trump is just saying the oath of office. He's not saying the speech he gave when he was there the first time. So there's always a lot of questions about how is Disney going to handle it with all kind of the division in the country right now. I think this was probably the best way to do it.
Probably.
I think if they are going to ever change it like substantially, they probably should do it, with a lot of like before an election or something like that. So we'll see. There's always been speculation about that. I think the rumor popped up again about Muppets taking it over or something like that, but I don't know. I think this is probably the best way to do it. And with a number of attractions either currently down or going down in Magic Kingdom, I think they probably did need some additional capacity in that park. So it's probably one reason they opened it now.
And I mean, if you look, I think it was Lentez's podcast last week mentioned like the historical delay from inauguration to like opening. It's always been like 6 to 9 months.
Yeah, I think in one of the forums somebody asked about it, and I actually looked up the last few times. It was like once was like right on July 4th, once was like maybe August. One time it was delayed into December or something. But it's always like a lot of times it's right around the 4th of July or just after. So this isn't like a longer delay than normal. If anything, it's kind of the same. Yeah, it's
kind of the same. So there's nothing to be reading into the quote unquote delay of opening. It's exactly. Kind of standard.
Yep. The other thing is that Test Track version 3.0, it officially opened for cast member previews on June 27th. It is opening officially on July 22nd. And this time Disney would, last time I think for his Tianas and stuff, they're like, you can't take any pictures, you can't do blah, blah, blah. This, they're like, just take all the pictures and videos you want, get it out there. I don't know if it's because they realized it didn't work too well last time or what, or if they realized these people would get better POVs than Disney would put out. But it was out like 5 minutes after the first person was in there. There were like POV videos up and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that like Disney couldn't do better. It's basically the same. And for such a low quality, phone video of a ride through, you might as well let people do that rather than have Disney having their brand on something that's a standard camera video. Plus it kind of gets people excited and kind of gins up more.
I actually like the way they did it because obviously cast members are liking it and stuff like that, but they're not. like media previews happen today, and some of them seem over the top because they have to like, they paint this super positive vibe about everything. Some of the travel agencies and stuff like that. Whereas the cast member ones, and a lot of them had like friends with them that weren't actually cast members.
Yeah.
They
It's
kind of
more
seemed
real.
a little more real. So I think it worked
Yeah.
out well. Overall, general reaction seems quite positive. I don't know. Did you watch it, or are you trying to keep it a secret? Since
I'm
you're
going
down there?
blind.
You're going
I'm
blind
because
okay.
I'll be there in 22 days, right? 22 days I'll be checking in. So yeah, I'm like really like ready to click that button and watch it. I've already seen a couple like screenshots of it. Unfortunately, scrolling through Twitter, but I'm going in blind. I mean, this is like the one time like a thing is opening like when I get there. So
Yeah.
I think
that's cool. Yeah, so
for that.
I mean, I'm another month after you. I couldn't help myself, so I watched it.
I would be the same boat. Like if I were going in August, like no, I'm watching it now.
Yeah.
I can't wait 2 months. But like literally, I think I can wait 3 weeks. I think I can survive.
So we won't get into details, obviously, for that. But I think overall they did a good job. It seems like a nice balance of sort of future type stuff, but harkening back to some of EPCOT's optimism and stuff like that. So overall, reaction is quite positive too.
Well, I think the only positive one was Len Testo's like 5.5 stars out of 10 or something else.
Yeah,
like
we gave it 3.5 out of 5. He liked half of it or something like that. And then I commented, he's like, I don't get this part. I'm like, I think it's just this. Like I think you're overthinking it and trying to have some like strong throughput through everything. I'm like,
it's just
I think some of it's just like enjoy it. Like that's it.
Like immediately everybody was loving it, and the only people that are like poo pooing it on social media forums wherever is that they heard World of Motion like mentioned like once in like some like B-roll social media take, and they thought that they were remaking the whole ride, and they were angry that they didn't remake the whole ride, and Disney never said they were doing
I was
that.
having some back and forth with somebody where I was quoting. It was like they literally said it's going to draw inspiration from World of Motion, which doesn't mean it needs to have any references on it, just that the spirit of optimism about transportation, like that's all it needed to be in there.
Theming, that's it.
And they were like, well, no, once they mention it, that means it's in your head that it's going to be tons of references. I'm like,
that sounds
that's
like
what
you probably.
I was like, that's what you did. Like,
yeah, that's not what I did.
So you can't be disappointed that Disney didn't meet your like made up like expectations, but apparently they can do that.
They did. Whatever. It's fine.
So they're also having pass holder and DVC previews coming up. They said they will be using a virtual queue for those previews. I think they're just using that to like tell who's a pass holder or not, like kind of checking in versus that. It's already been announced when it opens to the public on the 22nd. They will not be using a virtual queue. It'll just be standby, and it'll be part of Lightning Lane Multipass as a tier 1, and Soarin' is moving to tier 2.
I can't wait for that. I think this is great because now all your tier 1s are spread amongst Remy Frozen Test Track now, rather than Remy Frozen and like your pity Lightning Lane for like Soarin' or something else like that, right? So now you have a better chance of getting Remy Frozen or Test Track. I think Test Track obviously is going to go first, right? Because it's brand new.
It's because it's new for sure, yeah.
But like that allows people that with kids that aren't necessarily looking for the big like Test Track theme or thrilling part of it, you can go see Anna Elsa or you can go see Ratatouille, and I think that's better for everybody.
Yeah. Vito did comment in our forums that he's like, he one thing that's going to stink is it kind of makes Soarin' the number 1 tier 2 that everyone's going to go for. But maybe. I don't know. We'll see. There's more options for that and stuff too. But I think overall, like it should help spread it out, and I think most people should at least be able to get 2 of the big 3 now versus kind of just.
I hope so.
Yeah. So we'll find out. They did also announce some things that'll be closing soon, including Spaceship Earth. That refurb will be closing August 25th. They haven't said when it will be reopening, only that it's most likely going to be later this year. So it's not like the big giant overhaul that was planned at one point where it was going to go down for 2 years or something like that. This is just a few months refurb. Somebody who seemed to have some inside information was saying it's mostly around technology related to it. They'll be cleaning up like new projectors and stuff like that for the images. Did seem like they might be replacing all the screens in the vehicles so that they're like just more modern OLED screens or something like that. So it should not, the black will be blacker and stuff like that. So it should be helpful. So we'll see if there's any other little updates done, but it's not going to be the major change or anything like that. So actually, as a tease, the DVC engagement for next week will involve Spaceship Earth. So
there you go.
One thing though, because this was sort of thought to be the next big thing to happen, and the fact that it's not, and the timing of it, where it's closing right before the start of Destination D23. My wife is not super happy about that. This ride's going down.
Well, at least they're not closing Living with the Land, right?
That's true. That then she would probably
Silver
cry.
lining.
Yeah, silver lining. Some people are speculating like, oh, could they be announcing something else to be done, like a bigger refurb, like since it's not going to be Spaceship Earth, and maybe it's just wishful thinking, but maybe it'll be Journey to the Imagination or something like that. Will get announced at Destination D23.
I keep asking this because I keep forgetting. Have they ever really done a major announcement for an attraction at Destination D23? Or they've only been like updates to existing projects type of thing?
It's been updates, but it's been smaller things. I think, that was where they announced like Happily Ever After was coming back and things like that.
Small thing. Yeah.
So it's been like small to medium things, not like we're building Galaxy's Edge type things. Like hasn't been that. But this year they have doubled the size of it. So I think especially after last year's Expo where they doubled it, people are thinking maybe we'll get a little bit more than at a standard Destination D23.
If I had to guess, I think Destination D23 seems like a place where they announce dates for certain things. Like things I wouldn't be. I mean, I think it's a long shot, but I wouldn't be surprised if they announce more details for like the Monster Show and Monstropolis type of thing, or like the opening date of Big Thunder Mountain, or that might be a bit too soon since they're still kind of doing envelope tests and stuff like that. They might announce more details about Villains Land, some maybe more concept art, stuff like that. I mean, like I think it's stuff that's not going to surprise people, but it's going to have more details that might surprise people of existing projects or known things, maybe like Tropical America stuff, or I don't know. But this is a brand new world film, especially with Josh D'Amaro on top and with all his things. He might choose to kind of do something kind of fun at this.
So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe we're just playing into it that it happens to be closing right before the event, which my wife's like, why are they closing like a popular ride right before all the like nerds are coming down? But
she doesn't know that nerds are always down there. So I think they're just synced up by happenstance. I don't think it's a thing.
Probably, but it's fun to read too much into things.
Oh, well, of course.
They also announced the Little Mermaid, Ariel's underwater adventure, whatever the full name is going down, closing July 21st, but it's going to reopen on July 27th. So it's only about a week. It's nothing big. I think this is when you're down there though with your family. I don't know if this is something that's going to impact.
It closes the day before we check in. It opens up. If it opens July 27th, we have park days the 27th, 28th, and 29th. Okay. So if we really wanted to see it, we could always go back to Magic Kingdom and get it. Now, Phil, the more appropriate question is, I am tomorrow. I'm going to begin typing out all of our achievements. I reviewed them with the family tonight, real quick. If we have an achievement to do all the rides in Fantasyland, and if this is closed for the majority of that, and we don't go back to Magic Kingdom for some reason the last 3 days, which I think we're in Sailor Rose Royal Table on the 27th, to be honest with you. Does it count if we don't do it? Do we unlock the achievement if it's closed the majority of the time?
I would say if you're never in the park when it's open, you're good. But if you're in the park and could ride it and choosing not to, then we don't get the achievement. Then you don't get the achievement.
That's fair. I mean, I agree with you, but I'm trying to, just in case I forget to do it. But this is like one of those, like, we're going to talk about like skipper and filler rides later type of thing. Like, this is an attraction that you can always get a lightning lane for while you're there, and you can skip like a 10-minute line.
Right.
It's basically a walk on it.
Yeah.
So I like this ride for that sake alone.
No, I think we're jumping ahead a little bit to filler rides, but I think it's a very good filler ride because it's quality for what it is, but it doesn't get a long line.
Yep.
And then the last thing to announce is we knew this was going to close at some point, but Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin in the Magic Kingdom will be closing for its refurb, where it's going to be getting the new cars and the new guns and all that sort of stuff. But we now have an official date. It will be closing on August 4th and will reopen sometime in 2026.
Did we know it was closing down in August, but we just didn't have a day?
I don't even know if we knew it was closing sometime this year. I think they said like late summer or something like that. I don't know if they said a month, but now we know it's August 4th. This does impact my down and back with my daughter, but I told her and she's like, oh, I don't care. I don't like that ride. So
yeah, most people don't like that ride because it's like dirty and dingy and
it doesn't work that well anymore.
It's like moldy in there.
Yeah. So I'm excited to like see the new version, but like the fact that it's closed when I'm there, other than taking down a little capacity, I'm not too upset about it.
If they don't redo the queue and clean it up and freshen it up with all those switchbacks and everything else, I'd be very disappointed.
Oh, they're definitely going to do some of that because I think they're introducing the new character and stuff like that. So they're doing something to the queue, but definitely just making it seem cleaner and smell better and stuff would be good.
All right, time for some construction updates, which there are quite a few. I would recommend everybody, I'm pretty sure everybody is already, but go follow BioReconstruct on Twitter. He's now taking some really great pictures of not only Lakeshore Lodge, which is almost up. We'll talk about that in a second, but all the different yards and construction progress about to start at Magic Kingdom. It's kind of boring right now at Tropical Americas because they're just starting to finish and clearing the land. And it's kind of just backstage stuff.
Yeah.
But the Magic Kingdom stuff to me is really interesting because it's a lot of infrastructure stuff and it's going to be a major change to the whole resort. So I'm looking forward to that. In any case, Magic Kingdom, we have the lay down yards. All the areas are cleared. In the permits, they've mentioned that some of them will be gravel yards and some of them are going to be grass filled yards. So keep an eye out. Right now, they're all dirt.
Yeah.
Some of them may be green. Some of them you start seeing gravel being poured down.
But yeah, like you said, the images from Bio, you can tell just how massive this land clearing was. It's huge, and it's more like to the west than I guess I thought. I pictured it when I just saw the schematic, but now actually seeing it in a photo, it's it's like the whole west.
It's right there.
It's the whole thing's right there. Yeah.
So I think one of the things that we have, you could begin to think about is can you fit a hotel over there? And the only thing that makes me think that they're not going to do this after being so sure is all the maintenance area for Big Thunder is literally if you put it at hotel anywhere, that's your front view of Magic Kingdom is the maintenance shed for Big Thunder. Rivers of America update. If you look in the same pictures as the laydown yards for BioReconstruct, there's a section with a blue tarp laying across the access route to Rivers of America. It looks like it potentially could be a temporary dam. Which would be really interesting. That means as soon as it closes on July 7th, we might see some drainage right away. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how fast this goes. We already mentioned the Little Mermaid refurb for a week in July. And for some reason, I have Spaceship Earth in Magic Kingdom. We mentioned Buzz Lightyear. There are some more refurbs at the Disney World. The Main Street train station is still being refurbed. There's some new walls going up there. I could have sworn that was finished already, but I guess they're doing
they're doing something there too. And I also did see they were doing some testing with the railroad to do the backwards and forward shuttle run. They were switching some of the seats, so they're getting ready for that too.
So, and then the last one for Magic Kingdom, there was a demo permit filed for Tom Sawyer Island. Yep. So they're ready to go at that one.
Yeah, it's a really good question though. You raised it's interesting. You're going the end of July. I'm going the end of August. Do you think one or both of us will see the river drained when we go?
I think we'll both see it.
You think it'll be drained?
I think they're going to drain. As soon as they're going to what they don't. If I was in charge of operation, right, and we're closing out a major section of the park, just from a guest services complaint, lowering the throughput of guest complaints is seeing the riverboat and then saying, why can't we go on that? Right. So you got to rip the Band-Aid off. So construction's starting. I think the riverboat's going to go because, you have all the ire online about why we have to get rid of the riverboat. They could park it right here. We can save it. All this other stuff. I think they want to get it out of there and just basically rip the Band-Aid off, clear it out. And they're going to basically demo Tom Sawyer's Island. I think all those trees are going to go pretty quickly. Whatever ones that they want to save, that sort of thing. But I think we'll see quite a bit. And another reason why I think the railroad's closing too at this point is imagine the railroad going around, seeing the drained rivers, and then seeing them tear down the fort back there and all this other stuff. I don't think they want anybody taking pictures of that type of stuff, right?
That's a good point. And that because we were saying, well, why don't they have it go at least to the Frontierland station? But I guess I'm sure from there and heading to there, you could see a lot into that area, even just from that station.
Yep. So I think that's smart because it's such a sensitive thing. I just don't think they want people torturing everybody about demoing my favorite part of the park. And this was Walt's vision. I mean, Walt's vision was on the other side of the country. But that being said, off to Animal Kingdom. Tropical America's construction permits were filed, Chester and Hester's and some of the back areas. So construction is ramping up there. They're getting ready to do other things. Walls have gone up in the Zootopia, Tough to Be a Bug area revamp. They're not very obtrusive. They're kind of nice blended in at the base of the tree. You're really not going to see it unless you got up and close and some of the other Discovery Island little trees.
Well, that whole queue and area to get into the bug show was to get to Tough to Be a Bug. You almost had to really search for it. It wasn't an obvious area.
Yeah, you could never find it. I could never find it. Epcot, Spaceship Earth. I don't know why it wasn't in here. Hollywood Studios, a couple things. So There was this big thing where somebody leaked a GIS map of all the buildings, right? It wasn't like the exact location, but they mapped it. Block Mickey did it. WDW Magic had one. I don't know if they shared one with each other. I could not find this in any of the
I was looking through the
comprehensive planning document. It's like 400 pages. I scrolled through all of it, couldn't find it. So it wasn't online. I scoured their website. I crawled through it, couldn't find it there. So I don't know where they got it. I asked the guy at WDW Magic, hey, what is your source? And he ignored me.
Yeah.
It's not sourced in any articles. So I'm pretty sure somebody snagged this when it wasn't supposed to be online and got taken down. But it just shows the size of the building. And I thought it was interesting. It was kind of angled up, and everybody was immediately an expert in why it was that the road's going to go underneath, it's going to go around, it's going to go over. And there's people that are like, oh, it'd be easier to divert the road around the building. And I'm like, I don't think it would be that easy to divert the road around it. I suspect that the road is going to go through. Normally, you're going to go up and over it as you walk into the attraction, kind of like a Tron type of thing. But
yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Some
people are speculating that. I thought maybe they might like kind of have the road go down a little and then the pathway a little over it and stuff like that. But
maybe a combination of both. You're right. It's probably never one or the other.
But I guess the big thing coming out was just how big they've measured how big the building is, and it's 10% larger or 11% larger than the Rise of the Resistance building. So it's a sizable. They said it's basically bigger than every show building other than Cosmic Rewind.
And everybody, there was something on somewhere on social media where people were complaining about like how Disney doesn't do like impressive queues or whatever. And they showed like the queue for the new Harry Potter ride at Epic Universe where it's basically a giant warehouse and everything. Like you got a good deal of scope. I think this ride is going to be like, you're going to go through it and you're going to be able to see, and they're going to try to make it like it goes on in infinite directions all over the place. Right. And I think it's going to be bright. I think they're going to theme it inside so that you could just, like, it's going to be like the movie, right? You're just going to see these doors go by and everything else like that. Very, the opposite of like Guardians of the Galaxy where it's very dark. You can't really see things. I think they're going to allow you to see other ride vehicles.
I think they mentioned that in one of the things is that you'll be able to see other people passing by and stuff like that. Like, it's going to be kind of very kinetic.
Yep. And I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be great. Also, update from the Monsters Inc. land. The Miss Piggy statue's down, so they're
from the fountain.
Yeah,
that's down, and some other things are being tagged and removed and stuff like that. So they're already starting the prep.
And of course, I spent way too long reading our friend Matt's fight with everybody online about why they're closing things and calculating the cost of operations and all this other stuff. It's a nonsense argument, but that's for us nerds to do online when we have nothing better to do. One other thing, so for Lakeshore Lodge, like I wasn't paying attention to this, even though I do construction updates like once a week. I wasn't really paying attention too much to that. And then all of a sudden, like all the buildings are done, right?
Yeah.
Like they've gone vertical and they've completed it. Now it's all like the siding and the infrastructure around it and digging the pools and all this other type of stuff. The A-frames up are going in for some of the DVC cabins, I guess, whatever they're going to end up calling them. And one of the things I always thought it was going to be along the shore and whatever, but today it kind of hit me, and I don't know if this is just obvious and I'm just catching on late. Like it kind of reminds me of Alani, and if you look at Alani from a map, it's shaped like a C and the open or a U, and the shape of the U is facing the water. In Alani, it's the ocean, and in between those two tall buildings in Alani, that's where like all the pools and the play areas, and everything else like that. And it looks like that's what they're building in that area with like the lazy river and stuff like that. Again, there's probably permits and stuff like that I just haven't paid attention to, but like just seeing it, I think it looks
once
really
you see
awesome.
It in photograph, it makes it more real and everything for sure.
So go check out those pictures again. Bio Reconstruct has some really awesome shots of them. I think the resort's going to be absolutely gorgeous with that Wilderness Lodge right there, and this with the campgrounds. And I know the campground purists are raising havoc because there's a building going up there. I think this just betters property.
And from what I've talked to people, they were saying where the actual campgrounds are, you're probably not really going to see the building. It'll impact like when you're at Pioneer Hall and stuff like that. But if you still want that kind of pure at a campground, like away from everything, it should still exist.
Yeah, there's plenty of trees that'll block all that stuff for sure. All right, so that's the construction update for the week. Reminder of our social media accounts: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube channel, and Blue Sky, all at the DBC Pod. I've been slacking for like the last month and a half or so on Blue Sky. I used to post on there a lot, and I just haven't had time or energy to do that. So I apologize. But though I do try to comment on there when I can. All right. So this week, Phil, we had an idea for we haven't played a game in a while, right? I just realized that today. It's like we haven't played like a game at all. Planner versus filler versus skipper attractions. This was your idea to bring to the show. So why don't you explain what we're trying to do?
Yeah, so the whole thing started when the closure of Muppet Vision 3D, and then when they announced that Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island were closing, and people are saying, well, okay, I can understand why those closing that have very low attendance. They're not in demand. Nobody's ever on the island, stuff like that. So that's, makes sense why they're closing it. But people would argue and say, well, no, the parks need attractions that have available capacity that you can just walk up to and go and stuff like that. And it got me thinking that I fully agree with that they need those like kind of C and D ticket attractions that you don't have to worry about getting lightning lanes for and stuff like that. But I think there's a difference between those the attractions that people want to do kind of as an in-between, or as, a Mammoth Club, they call the filler attractions. But there's also ones that, like, even if there's no line, people aren't like going to bother doing. And I think, the taking the rafts out to Tom Sawyer Island and the riverboat and stuff, well, some people did that for sure. I think most people, even if it's, that's something they just go by and they don't think about it. So that it's more of a skipper attraction to them. So what I thought we could do is try to think of like, well, for all the attractions that are in the park, which are the ones that we think do a good job as being those filler attractions versus which ones are maybe ones we don't bother with. I guess another way of looking at it is which ones do we think could be on the like if we were in charge of
on the chopping block, yeah,
it could be on the chopping block for like to be replaced with something else. So things like, I mentioned like the riverboat Tom Sawyer. I think things like Ellen's Energy Adventure and stuff like that, where it's like, yeah, it had all this capacity, but it was never even half full. So who cares if it has all that capacity? That type.
It wasn't even half full. I mean, yeah. It was less than that. But no, I think you chose a way to do this properly. We have EPCOT ready to go. Are we just doing EPCOT today, or are we going to attempt to do two in a row, Phil?
My plan was let's do EPCOT and see how it goes, how long it takes, and that sort of thing, and if this is a fun process or not. We could get some feedback on it if it was enjoyable, if it made sense for us to do it this way, and if it is, then we could do the next parks in the next episode or something.
My OCD is going to demand that we just do all of them anyway,
just to at least complete it.
Yeah. I don't really care if anybody's not listening or not. We need to finish this because I kind of like ranking things, right? So I think this will be fun. So let's see. How do you want to do it? You want to just go down your list? You made a list here in EPCOT. You pared down my copy paste list, thankfully. And then
so I thought we'd just go down the list. We can just talk through it, and for each one we'll determine if it's a planner, one that you plan, something that makes the spreadsheet. This is something that you're like is a must do type thing. Is it a filler, one that you don't necessarily plan for, but you're happy to do if it's got no line or in between things? Or is it a skipper where it's like, even if there's no line, I don't bother with this?
Now, like, if it's a skipper, like, is it something that we haven't done in years? Is it something that like we don't even think about? Like, how are we like, if I went on it, let's say, back in November when I was in the parks with my wife, let's say we did go on it, but we didn't go on it the previous 5 trips. Is that considered a skipper? We just happened to do it one day?
Yeah, I think if it's just something, hey, we hadn't done this ever, let's give it a shot to check it off, that's kind of a skipper. Okay. But a filler is something more like, no, we don't necessarily like put it into the spreadsheet. We're not necessarily getting a lightning lane for it. But if we're passing by, we have some time and we see there's no line, we're excited or we're happy to do it.
That makes sense. Okay.
So the first one down the list, it kind of was in Wikipedia, it was kind of sort of front of the park to the back. The first one is Spaceship Earth. Is that something you plan for, a filler or a skipper for you?
So this one was hard to choose.
I know, we're kind of starting out with a little bit of a tricky one.
So like, I'm going to ultimately rank this as a filler, right? Because I always plan on doing Spaceship Earth, but if I have like 2 EPCOT days, I'm not making sure I do it on the first day, and I'm not eager to go on it. But like, it's a must do, right? In my head, I'm like, we have to plan on doing it, but it's not like I'll get to it when we have time. So for me, I think it is a filler attraction because the wait's never that long.
Yeah.
but it's I don't think it's like a must do. Like I'm planning for it.
I view it the same way too. And one reason why I think that is if I'm checking the wait list, I'm not waiting like 20, 30 minutes for it. I'm going to check it. It's
That's
like,
a good way of putting it, yeah.
now it's down to a 5-minute wait. Let's go do Spaceship Earth, that type of
Yeah.
thing. Whereas, if it's Cosmic Rewind or something like that, I'm going to wait for and like make sure.
I'm with you on that one.
So the next one is Journey into Imagination with Figment.
So again, this is another tough one. I mean, I think ultimately it has to be a skipper because I haven't done this in like since 2022, and I've been to the parks like 3-ish times since then.
Okay.
Like even if it shows me a 5-minute wait, like, and I get a lightning lane for it, I'm still not going. Right? Like,
Yeah.
if I have to like walk more than a country away to get there out of my way, like I'm not going there. So to me, it's a skipper.
It's kind of in between the filler and skipper for me too. We don't do it every trip, but we do it most trips, and we enjoy it when we do it. But yeah, sometimes we just don't get over to that area. You kind of have to go a little bit off to that area. It's not necessarily on the way getting to other things. So I think, especially in its current form, it could be a skipper.
I think like even if you need some nostalgia for like 1980s, early 1990s, like mall culture, like it's great to be in there. or if you do they have the Inside Out meet and greet? No, they moved that, right? They moved that meet and greet, or it's no longer. Was that Hollywood Studios for a while? I forget.
Yeah.
Where you could meet what's
Joy and
Joy.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
And then the other two things that are in the Imagination Pavilion, I'm assuming those are both skippers for you too, as well. The ImageWorks and the Magic Eye Theater.
I've never been in both.
Okay. So ImageWorks is like the stuff after you do Journey into Imagination with Figment, where there's the game.
Is that where you can get yourself photoshopped into a picture?
That's part of it, or there's like the things where you can move your.
I have done that. Okay.
Yeah. And then the Magic Eye Theater that's where Captain EO and stuff was, but now it just has Disney and Pixar shorts. So
I have no desire to sit down and watch like shorts that I can watch on Disney Plus.
Yep, I agree. Next one is Mission Space.
This is a total skipper for me. I've never been on this attraction. I am terrified of things that spin, and I do not want to. I have heard too many horror stories of like I went on this and it messed up my Disney vacation. Even though I know one half is pretty tame, I'm not risking it.
Okay. See, for us, because I'm kind of biased because my son loves it, it's the green side. So for me, it's a filler attraction. It's not necessarily something that's making the spreadsheet, but it's something we're going to try to do. And if we're in the area, again, it usually has no wait. So for me, it's a filler one. So maybe it's
a planner for your son, isn't it? Almost
for him, but it's like, I mean, I guess because I do the planning, so I'm not putting it like we're doing it at this time, but like, it's like, yeah, hey, we're in the area, like that sort of thing.
Yep.
Test track. I mean, the new one, assuming we're going to plan for that one.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was a planner before anyway, because it's one of the marquee attractions in the park.
Yep. Same for Cosmic Rewind, I'm assuming.
I mean, that's easy. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like Test Track, my threshold for Test Track, at least 2.0, was like 35, 40 minutes. Like I'll hop on Test Track without a lightning lane for it. Guardians of the Galaxy, I'll wait an hour for that ride. That's one of the best attractions on property.
Yep. Then we're going to the Land Pavilion. So there's Awesome Planet, the movie.
I've never seen Awesome Planet, and it's not because I don't care. It's just like I don't know if I want to. I'm slowly over the years watching all the movies throughout EPCOT, and I think the Canadian one is going to be on our list this time. I think to me this is filler. Can I say filler if I've never seen it though? I mean, like I'm very confused. Like it's always top of mind, but it's not like skipping. Like I'm going to skip this because I have no desire to see it. I see it. I want to see it, but I never have enough time where I'm over there to watch it. Because typically when we're over there, we're seeing Soarin', we're going up there, but then we have like another lightning lane for Spaceship Earth, or it's just lunchtime, and we always have something to go afterwards. But if we were like there, we would definitely go in and watch it for like the 15, 20-minute film that it is. Okay. So I is that filler? I don't know.
So for me, it's definitely a skipper because we've walked past it multiple times, and I've even asked it like, "Hey, we've never done this. Do you want to do it?" And it's like, "No, we don't want to see it." Like it just does not interest us. It's whether there's zero wait, it's not gonna. I mean, maybe it's great. Maybe some people love it. But for us,
am I being just optimistic calling it filler? I've never seen it.
I kind of feel like if you it just feels like you skip it a lot.
I've only skipped it. All right, put me down for a skipper. I mean, but the completionist in me, I want to. I would see it.
So here's a new rule: if you're doing it just for like completionist sake, that could still be a skipper.
Okay, fair enough. Now, If I have an achievement to do everything in Epcot, do all these movies count my upcoming vacation?
I mean, it's your thing, so I guess you would decide. I would say,
Well, I'm asking
yeah.
the Council of Phil. I mean, like,
I think if it's to
is
do
that
every,
legit?
I think I tried to pare this down to everything that was like a legit attraction, not just like even in the Wikipedia it had the like entertainment in the different countries and stuff
That
like
doesn't
that. I
count.
didn't include that.
Okay.
But I think every movie on here, if you're a completionist, I will give you the one out. You don't have to do both Oppressions to France and the Beauty and the Beast sing along with because they swap out. You could just do one of those.
Fair enough. Fair. Okay, I'll take it. The
Uh,
ruling has been put down.
this is the way.
This is the way.
Living with the Land is the next one.
I mean, this is definitely filler for me. I know it's planner for you guys, at least because it's your wife's favorite attraction. It's definitely a filler for me, only because there's sometimes I haven't been on it, but the last couple times I've been there to do this ride, it's been Christmas time. So, like, I'll say at Christmas, it's definitely a planner.
Okay, yeah,
The rest of the year, it is a filler for me.
yeah. I think that's probably fair. And I know it's like my wife's favorite thing. It's one of our favorite things, but at the same time, we tend to just fit it in somewhere. It's not, you know, outside of the Christmas stuff. It's just we know we're going to get on it at some point, but it's not like a specific time we have to get on it.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's like, oh, we're in the area, let's go do that and that sort of thing. So I think realistically, it's a filler. It's a maybe a higher level filler, but it's a filler.
Yeah.
And the next one is Soarin'.
Soren's filler.
I think so too. I didn't know if we'd argue over that one, but that's what I was going to say too.
If as my daughter gets older, it slips from planner to filler for me because when we went in 3 years ago, this was like her favorite attraction. She was absolutely fell in love with like going up and flying. Like she really loved that. It's more gentle than Flight of Passage, which she loved, but she was a little like, I can't believe what I just did, but like, oh yeah, I liked it, but I'm nervous. Like this, she's like just joy on her face,
Yeah.
right? But as she got older, she likes more things, so we don't have to plan to do Soarin', even though we're definitely getting on it every year that we go there because I love the attraction, but it's definitely a filler.
Yep. Okay, that sounds good. The Seas. There's the actual Seas with Nemo and friends.
I mean, these are all skippers.
Yeah, I think so. And Turtle Talk with Crush, same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never actually done Turtle Talk with Crush because I didn't feel like
Turtle Talk. We always did it when we had the kids were little because they have all the kids up front and they're asking like silly questions and stuff like that. It's definitely one that's great to do at least once when you have small kids, but it's most of the time we skip it.
My issue is every time we've gone through the Seas, like the next show was like in like 10, 20 minutes, and we're like, let's go on, right?
Yeah.
And we've never timed it up properly.
Gotcha. Next attraction is Journey of Water, inspired by Moana.
See, like, I want to say planner for this one because I absolutely love this part of the park. It's gorgeous, especially if you want to say like nighttime Journey of Water, like that's a planner. I mean, like if we're at nighttime, we're there at night, we have to do Moana. But if it's during the, you got the wrong row there, buddy.
Oh gosh.
Fired. But yeah, like Journey of Water, I think it's kind of like, yeah, I gotta do it. It's like one of the newest things at Epcot. It's absolutely beautiful. My kids like run around and play. It's refreshing. It's cool because you're getting water misted around. It takes the temperature down a little bit. So yeah, I mean, during the day, like I've walked past it plenty of times during the day, but I'm like, we definitely are coming back here at night if we're over here. So
I think that's fair. I mean, I think for me, if I had to pick one, it would just be filler because yeah, we want to do it. It's a new attraction. We enjoy it for sure. But it's also one of those where if there was a 30-minute wait to get in, we wouldn't wait.
Oh, absolutely.
Minutes,
I mean, yeah, I mean, like to go to the rules about like wait times, like and stuff like that. Like this, I've never seen this where you had a line to get in. So I'm kind of like taking that. Like,
yeah. But that's why I think that's what makes it a good filler. Is like it never has a line. It's just people you go through it and stuff like that. That's why I think it's a great filler attraction. But I think it's a filler.
Absolutely. Yep. Which is the next one, Grand Fiesta Tour. It to me is like, you know, I'm kind of getting out of ahead of my not ahead of my skis. That's the wrong
analogy.
Saying. I think I want to say this planet because I absolutely adore this attraction because it's like old school Epcot, but like it's the perfect filler attraction, right? Like it's never long to get on. You're not rushing over there to get it. You're not like rope dropping. I don't think is it open at rope drop. I don't think it's open at rope drop, is it? Because the pavilion's closed, isn't it? Anyway. Doesn't make a difference. I'm not like we need to do this, like you know, whatever. But like it's a perfect filler. You walk in, let's go do Grand Fiesta Tour. Great, done. I kind of like it.
Yep. Next one is Frozen Ever After.
To me, this is a filler, but I will totally say that this is a planner because
I
plenty
think
of people plan to go on this.
I
trip.
think it's one of those in a perfect world it would be a filler, but
Yeah.
for Epcot it's a bit of a planner where if you want to do it, you have to be monitoring wait times or do a lightning
Exactly.
lane or something like that. You have to kind of plan around it. So
Yeah, I mean, like Epcot needs 2 more planner attractions. They've got Remy, Test Track, and Guardians. If they had like a really good like Rapunzel ride in Germany, and like gosh, I don't know, they redid Imagination to where it's like an awesome attraction again, then this could actually fall down, because most likely if Frozen 3 and 4 each do like $1.5 billion globally, they're going to build a Frozen land at Hollywood Studios.
Right.
Like that's almost guaranteed at this point. I have to say that's just speculation, obviously, but like, yeah, this should be like a solid like CD attraction because it's not the greatest attraction in the world, right? Like it's
just popular. It's not great.
Yeah, the attraction itself is pretty lame. There's really no cool effects in it. It's just some of the most popular Disney princesses ever.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Yep. Speaking of movies, like you mentioned before, Reflections of China.
I mean, I love that theater, like just sitting around, but like it's like halfway between filler and skipper. Like I can go like 3 trips and not do it, but like I definitely need to do it at least 3 times a decade.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means, but like
no, I kind of feel the
skipper.
same. I think it's more of like you definitely want to check the box that you've done it, and if you're like, oh, we haven't done it in like 4 or 5 trips, let's do it again. But to me, that's more of a skipper versus every time you pass by, if it's got a low weight, you'll go to it and that sort of thing.
All right, we got to stick to the actual definitions and not vibes on this one. I get you.
American Adventure.
I mean, this is a skipper as much as I haven't done the show since pre-COVID, since 2019. So that means I guess it is a skipper because I've skipped it like 4 or 5 times already. Yeah. But I think we're going to have to catch it again when we come because it's been a while.
Yeah, I'd like to say that was a filler, but I mean, maybe it's a filler for me, but not for the rest of my family. It's kind of one of those like, we haven't done it in a while. Let's do it. I think we'll like it. But to me, that's more of, I think more often than not, my family would skip it on the way to go to something else.
The last time we went, I think it was down.
Okay.
Last time we went. And then the time before, we went in there, and we just waited. We went at the wrong time and we're like sitting around for 15 minutes. And
it is a longer show too. So yeah, if you just miss one, it's a long wait. So,
So I think we accidentally made this a skipper rather than a filler.
Impressions de France / Beauty and the Beast sing along.
I mean, these are skippers. I love Impressions de France because I just like the old school, like, was it the 70s vibe of like Paris, whatever. I think
I guess 80s, but yeah.
It was in 80s, okay, yeah. But it's like it's a skipper. Like, I could walk past it and I'd be like, nah, we're going somewhere else.
Remy's Ratatouille Adventure.
I mean, this is obviously a planner. It's one of the most popular rides anywhere, really.
And then end it with Canada Far and Wide.
I mean, like, I guess all the movies are skippers, right? Like, you're watching a movie. Like, the Circavision stuff is, like, old tech. It's not, like, really impressive. I mean, I guess the next level would be, like, a bunch of, like, helmets come down out of the ceiling and you put them on and you're just, like, full-on, like, immersive VR stuff, type stuff. Not sitting in a room with, like, just cameras all around you type of thing. So, it's dated.
All right. So, we got through everything.
I think we did. I think I enjoyed that. That was nice and rapid. Everybody needs to like this so we can do Magic Kingdom. I can't wait to do Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, that'll take a little longer.
Yes. But we're at the 43-minute mark, and we've got one other section to do. And you have some dining for your upcoming trips. I have a lightning lane moment that I want to share. So you got more notes here. So why don't you take her away?
Yep. So I have the 2 trips coming up in August. First, in the first week of August, I'm doing my down and back with my youngest. We have our 1 day in Magic Kingdom, but days on either end where travel and in and out. So we did book a couple dining things, which I didn't do when I went with my down and back with my son. I guess, I don't know, just treating my daughter a little nicer, I guess. But we booked, and honestly, the 2 things I booked are 2 things I haven't done. I wanted to try them out, and they seem like good things to do when I'm only paying for 2 people.
Yes.
So the first one is dinner on arrival day. because we're planning on doing the water park, taking advantage of the included water park perk, and then resting at the resort for a little bit, and then we're going to go eat at the cake bake shop over at the boardwalk. Haven't done that yet. We have a number of people on our Discord that are praising it, that just went there recently and really enjoyed it. And I think it's the type of vibe my youngest daughter will like. So it seems like she's the one to bring to it, and we're only paying for 2 of us. So even though it's kind of pricey,
that's her vibe. Cake bake shop is what
I think she's kind of my kids, of my 2 girls especially. Like, she's the most girly and frilly. She has like a crystal chandelier in her bedroom and stuff like that. So it kind of seemed more like that.
So like, you inspired me. I was like, oh, maybe I could do the cake bake shop with my daughter when we go down on in 2 days from now. But I'm like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, that's kind of out of our way a little bit. We're only there for 24 hours essentially. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I think we're going to go to Shikisai because she's a big sushi fan.
Okay.
And that's one of the restaurants we both really wanted to do on our family like ADR video journey, but no one else likes sushi.
Oh, that's perfect then. Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're going to go in maybe like, because I look for reservations. I didn't get a reservation. Like, everything is wide open.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can just walk in there. And I think we're just going to maybe get like 2 sushi rolls, share them, and then, head out. It'd be like a nice little rest before we.
No, that sounds perfect. Yep. And then we don't have anything for our actual park day, which is Magic Kingdom. I'm hoping to have a break in the middle of the day and just do like kind of the pool bar or something like that. But on our last day, flight's a little later. So we're doing Topolino's breakfast, which I've never done the breakfast there. So it's the character meal and stuff like that, that I know a lot of people say it's like their favorite character meal on property and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, it's another one I thought was good to do with when only paying for 2 people. So
I'm like, my mother heavily influenced us not doing Topolino's breakfast because she did it in 22 with my sister. She's like, it was overpriced. You didn't get a lot for your money. And I'm like, I think you just didn't ask for like more food, because you're allowed to ask for more food when you're done with it. But we're doing Topolino's dinner, which I'm kind of actually excited for.
It was a number of years ago now, but we did do Topolino's for dinner and we enjoyed it. I remember enjoying the appetizers more. Like, we got a bunch of appetizers and they were really good, and the entrees were good, but I don't know, everything with cheese was good. That's what I remember.
We're doing dining plans, so we're using double credits for Topolino's and double credits for Cinderella's Royal Table. So we don't have dining for our arrival day or our last full day that we're there. So we're kind of stealing money from that.
And then, so that's it for that trip. And then at the end of August, I have my no kids trip with my wife, where we're largely going down for Destination D23. But as I think I mentioned before, we're going down a little early and going to be spending a couple nights at Universal. So we do have, for our arrival day, we have booked the 2 restaurants at the Helios Grand Hotel. We'll be doing dinner at Flora Taverna, and then we have a reservation for drinks at Bar Helios at the top of the hotel for later.
I can't wait for pictures and reviews of this. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that looks. We're really excited for that. And then I did. So then we have our Epic Day. We don't have anything booked for actually in the park. We're just going to try to be doing quick serve and snacks and stuff because there's so much to eat there.
Is your wife like a big roller coaster person?
She enjoys them. She's not like a crazy, like super thrill, but she enjoys. I mean, we've done like, she does Velocicoaster and stuff like that. So yeah.
My wife used to be a big thrill seeker, but like recently she's like, it just kind of messes up my head now, so I don't go on them anymore. So yeah. I was just curious because that lots in Epics.
Yeah.
Roller coasters.
But then the next day is when we shift over to Disney, and we are doing our EPCOT day. That day we got, through the convention, we were able to get discounted tickets. So we got Epic after our EPCOT. We can enter at 1 p.m.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and they were $83, which I think is not too bad for
like half price.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty good. But we were able to manage to get a reservation for Geo 82.
I'm so jealous. I haven't been able to get this at all. Is there a walk up for Geo 82 at all?
I mean, you can try, and if there's anything in there, but I think they said, right, it's like reservations only. There's no like, it's not like some like, oh, if you sit at the bar, you don't need a reservation type thing. It's like even the bar seating is reservation and stuff like that. And we did manage to get one for 7:35 in the evening. So hopefully we can just stay up there the whole time and watch the fireworks, even though with it not paying for the firework package. I did watch recently, Mammoth Club had theirs from there, and they had the same type of thing, like an evening reservation, and they stayed there, and they were like just 3 rows back and had a great view of the fireworks, but without having to pay for the firework package.
$5,000.
So that's the plan. Yeah, exactly.
Package.
Then Friday is just.
Well, you missed the best part. You're going to be at the first day of food and wine, and then you get to to play Find the Vlogger, right?
Yeah.
As you go around.
Yeah, that's true. It is the first day of Food and Wine. That's one reason we were doing the after 1 p.m. instead of the after 4 p.m. ticket, because we want to stop by and see what booths we can. We know there will be a lot of vloggers. We already reached out with one of the dining people that we watch. I was like, we'll be down there. Maybe we'll see you. They're like, oh yeah, we'll be there. Let's make sure we say hi and stuff like that. So we'll
I mean, like I know Disney would kick you out and like ban you from property, but like the funniest videos I ever see were like people are like doing videos and somebody's messing with like vloggers in the streets or wherever, right? Where they take like a water gun and they like kind of secretly like squirt them. It's just like one single little bead of water kind of arcs out and it like hits them on the shoulder and they're looking around.
Like looking around, yeah.
I would love to mess with vloggers because it would be funny. I'd get kicked out of Disney, so I would never do it. But like, you know, it is what it is.
So hopefully they'll release the full menus pretty soon. I know some of the booths they already started working on, so we can start planning which ones we want to make sure we hit up.
Just because there's going to be no festivals for my EPCOT days.
I know.
At all when I'm down there.
We didn't know if there would be one for us, but it just works out. It's the first day, so we'll see. Then the next day is like the start of the conference, but it's just the shopping and stuff like that. There's no panels. So we booked for that evening California Grill. We have an 8:45 reservation. So there's 10 o'clock is it's a Halloween party is going on that night already. It's already Halloween. So we'll be able to watch we decided not to get tickets to the actual Halloween party. Instead, we're going to California Grill to have a nice meal there and watch the fireworks from there. So we'll see. We haven't been back to California Grill. It used to be one of our absolute favorites since they went to the Prefix. But we're pretty excited to try it. And again, it's another one where it's only the two of us, so it's a lot easier to pay the Prefix price.
I mean, I'm like jealous of your trip. Your trip is like a perfect like adult like getaway.
Yeah.
The only thing is like my wife doesn't indulge in adult beverages anymore, so a lot of this won't be lost on her.
Yeah.
But like to me, this is like a very good like date kind of going out and doing.
That's
things.
exactly
like,
what we're shooting for. Yeah. So we don't have any. We'll just have to figure out where to grab food during the actual conference, like for lunch and stuff like that. But then then for our last night though, we booked at the top of the Gran Destino Toledo to have another one, a late one. So it'll be kind of after all the festivities end. We'll go right up there, have a nice meal for our last night. And usually you can see like the EPCOT fireworks and stuff from there too. So.
That is so cool. No, I think you have it. I think as you age, Phil, your planning is getting better because do you know why your planning is better for this one? Why? You only have 2 park days.
Yeah.
You're not worried about like rides and everything else. You're like, we're going to Epic. We're gonna see some stuff. We're going to Epcot after 1. Food. You're not worried about anything. You know, this is your first true like vacation into vacation because it's not down and back where you're just trying to cram a whole bunch of stuff in. Right?
It's like the reverse of that.
Yeah. So I think what I would love to hear from you. So keep this. Don't keep this in mind. Enjoy time with your wife, but like afterwards, I'm going to ask you after this for your trip report. I'm going to ask you about the difference of being on Disney property for not just for longer than like or Orlando, right? Theme park vacation, but where you're not like constantly doing park planning and worrying about park times and all this other stuff. So like, I'm really curious to see if you think this might influence the way you do your next family Disney trip. I know it's not going to be in Paris because in Paris you're going to be like,
just trying to do trying to get every single thing in because who knows when the heck we'll get back. But our next big Disney trip, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, well, I'm curious to contrast that to like your next Orlando trip.
Yep.
All right, so that's really good. I'm jealous of that. I just had like a quick moment, right? Like, again, my trip with my daughter in 2 days or tomorrow, if you're listening to this, is if listen to this on Tuesday when it comes out, is, you know, I booked the flights, I booked the hotel, I had my tickets, I'm good to go. And then Wednesday night, my kids are all in their swim meet, and it's like 9:00 at night or something else like that. And I'm like, oh shoot, I could get lightning lanes because I think I was checking just double checking I got the right reservation, the right time. Like I'm paranoid that I selected the 3rd instead of the 2nd, stuff like that. And it says buy your lightning lanes now. I'm like, I forgot to do lightning lane multi-passes for me and my daughter, even though I wasn't really like urging to do it. I'm like, we might as well do it. Of course, Magic Kingdom is like $30 a person for that day, which is absolutely ridiculous. I'm like, can't we go to Animal Kingdom? It's only like $12 at this point, right? So I could have saved myself $40. But so we land at like 8:40, right? So we'll be at the parks hopefully around like 9:40 or something else like that, like an hour later after touchdown. And I booked like, my daughter really wants to go on Space Mountain. Our last trip, she didn't go on. She still hates me for not being able to go on Space Mountain last time we were there. So I got Space Mountain from 9:25 to 10:25. And then I'm like, all right, we're going to get Pirates and Haunted Mansion, right? Boom, boom. Good, two good solid tier 2s for Magic Kingdom. And it's just like 9:25, 10:25, 10:25, 11:25, 11:25, 12:25. So they were all laid out perfectly. And I'm like, that was easy. And I had my choices for everything else. Everything else was available for the early morning to line them up perfectly. So I'm like, I didn't have to panic about anything. I'm literally 7 days out. It's not even 7 plus 7, right?
And it was 9 o'clock at night. It wasn't even like
6 it was like
right?
14 hours after, I could book them. And then like 2 days later, so like Saturday, I want to say, I checked like what's going on. I can get Pirates. I can get Haunted Mansion for the same times. And the only thing that I couldn't get is Tiana's Bayou Adventure until 5 o'clock that day on Saturday. But everything else was wide open for the morning, early afternoon. And that's plus 5 days, plus 3 days. So I don't know if that means anything, but hopefully it's not a crazy crowded day on Wednesday, but we'll see. But again, I think people are seeing this with ADRs that are kind of wide open. I was checking ADRs, and like other than like Topolino dinner and Cinder's Royal Table, which there's still availability for, but not to like, it's the fringes of like the dinner time, right? Either 4 o'clock or 8 o'clock type of thing. But everything else, like our first full day there, we're going to Whispering Canyon Cafe for brunch kind of ish, like 11 o'clock, lunch dinner type or lunch breakfast type of thing. And they go, our first day, we're going to go to Magic Kingdom in the morning. Do we really want to leave and go here and do this and like make sure we get over there? And then I'm thinking to myself, we don't go. We can go book anything for that day because everything is wide open. Right. The way I wanted to do it, like this whole trip is going to be the ultimate non-planning trip. The only thing planned, or I think our hard sticking points, is the Rhinos tour at Animal Kingdom. And we have Yak and Yeti right after that. So like those are going to be connected. We have Cinderella's Royal Table. I'm not going to change because we got a perfect time for that. We got Topolino's dinner, which I think is, we got right at like 6:30 at night for Topolino's. And the only other thing that I think I might not be able to get perfectly is Ohana. We're doing Ohana breakfast one morning. Okay. So I want to be able to like, all right, I don't feel like doing that restaurant tomorrow. Let's switch it up. Like instead of going to Magic Kingdom where we decided to go to Hollywood Studios instead, let's swap this one for this one and kind of turn it around. And there's availability all for that. And I think that's what Disney's always been missing, is to be able to like book a restaurant when you're on property to kind of eat what you want to eat. And I always got what people hated, not having to choose what to eat like 120 days in advance. But I'm glad we're able to do that. So I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
All right, so that's my little update in a rant or anti-rant or joyous rant.
Yes,
it's a joyous rant. Is it a rant or is it a something else? There's got to be a term for it. I just can't think of it right now. Okay, so we had DBC engagement for the week. Name some filler and skipper rides to you. I think we could just run through these really quick, Phil. TL Madden says, are we counting World Showcase shows? Those have been skippable since 1982, so he agrees with us. The Beauty and Beast sing-along, because it's awful. Indiana Jones, again, due to its length and its few show times. Those are skippable. Fillers are any classic shows at Magic Kingdom. Tiki Room, Frozen Sing-along at Hollywood Studios is definitely filler for them. Doxy says, Skippers is the Tomorrowland Speedway. Fillers are like the Bears and the Tiki Room. I agree with that. Those are great fillers. Like Tiki Room's a must do, but I'm not planning when I'm doing that.
It's funny. She also mentioned a skipper being "It's a Small World," but it seems to be due to the song.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it's funny. I was visiting with my mom over the weekend, and she was like, "Oh, I see. There's like lots of changes happening at Disney." And she goes, "As long as they don't do anything to It's a Small World, that's the one I always have to do." I'm like, "Okay, well, I don't know, Mom." Like,
yeah. So, Walt Disney 33 brought in a few skippers. Tiki Room, how dare you? Asher Orbiter, which I agree with. Like Asher Orbiter is a pain in the butt to get to.
It's an interesting ride because it's another one that is reopening soon. They redid it. It looks great.
Oh, it's open. It's open.
Oh, is it fully open now?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, but it's like you always have to like go out of your way. It's always a long line. It's just like
unless the elevator, right?
Yeah, unless I catch it with like no wait or something, I'm just like, eh.
I mean, it's
Just move
literally got to be walk on for me
Yeah.
to wait in line to go up an elevator. But the ride itself is awesome. I'm terrified of the ride because I always feel like I'm going to.
Oh, I 100% feel like I'm falling out. Yeah.
And because I'm just too big for it, I think. Fillers for him are Carousel of Progress and Little Mermaid. I agree with those.
Yep.
Like Carousel of Progress is the perfect filler attraction. It's one of my favorites. I love being in there. You just make sure you just walk right on, and it you always can get on. You don't have to wait, even if there is a little bit of a line. It's
just waiting for the next
changing,
show. Yeah.
and it just goes in. I think they should make more like that. I think they should start stacking them, right? Like just take an elevator to the time period you want and take a carousel around. And of course, we're going to end with our friend Matt. Skippable attractions are all the spinners, but he also will skip Pooh, which I agree with. I think Pooh is a skippable attraction. I went on with my wife because we haven't been on it a couple times, and she's like, I really like Pooh. I want to go on. And we go on. It's like, she's like, this is the dirtiest attraction on here. There's too many kids with dirty diapers around. And I'm like, the attraction itself is not dirty.
Right.
Like, it's just a lot of like kids. Like,
Well, they always have that like wall, the honey wall. I was
Oh.
just going to say, it does kind of gross you out a little.
Oh, it just grosses me out. So yeah, that's definitely skippable. It has been skippable for us. Mission Space, he agreed with me on that one. And his fillers are Grand Fiesta Tour and Figment. Disagree on Figment, I think, from my sense, but Grand Fiesta Tour is definitely one of the best filler attractions at EPCOT. They need more of those. So again, Phil, what is next week's DVC engagement? This was your idea.
Yeah, so we mentioned above, kind of teased this out, that we know they're doing Spaceship Earth is going down for a refurb for a few months, and we know it's not going to be a major overhaul, but I'm thinking maybe they could touch up a few different things or tweak a little bit, add to something. Nothing major, but if there was something small change that you think you would like to see in Spaceship Earth that could be done as part of a few month refurb, what would you like to see? And for example, I thought of the idea because skier Pete mentioned it on the Discord that hopefully they could fix up the Paperboy, if you remember, because initially when the ride was open, he faced the people and had the paper in his hand and was waving it and stuff like that, but the animatronic broke or something like that and they couldn't fix it, so they just turned him around and now he's just yelling to like the wall or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's saying this could be a nice little thing maybe they could refurb there. So things of that scale would you like to see? That could maybe a small thing that would be a big impact for you.
Yes, small scale changes. I like this one. I have to think about this, just because last time I went on it, it was just like I just love being in there.
Yeah.
Right? It has a certain, obviously the smell and everything else like that. Now I got to think like, what would I change? And I think I'm willing to bet, Phil, and maybe I'm biasing some of these answers that are coming by mentioning this, but I think out of all the places in the attraction, it's going to be the descent that gets the most comments. Because that's always been kind of like, okay, it's over. What's going on?
Yeah, I guess I'll say one thing. Like, if you can pick the descent, but you have to kind of describe what you would do, and that it is small scale. You can't say like we're totally revamping it. That would take 2 years. This is something that for small amount of dollars, but they could do something to tweak it.
Now you can't say screens but that's what we think that they're changing. So you can't say those either. All right, Phil. I think that was it. We hit it right on the nose at 1 hour. So good job by us. Everybody else, thank you for watching and listening. And we'll see you next week.
Take care, everyone.